Hey guys, what up? Total Control 871. Pretty tired tonight. Don't feel like fighting with the camera's orientation. So I'm just simply going to read from my notes that I have. I just put together a few topics here. Not topics, the topic is the fake pandemic. And here are just some notes that I have here. Uh, Broadway actor Nick Cordero passed away today. In the comments section, I offered my condolences, and I also offered pretty much what is my standard um, reply comment whenever a high profile person, or really anybody, anybody that will pass away from COVID. And I usually ask to see medical records. Of course, I don't expect to actually be shown medical records. But I did say in the comment section that it would be nice to see his medical records, basically to rule out comorbidities. If you're going to utilize a high profile person's alleged COVID death, then yeah, I don't think it's out of the ordinary or unusual to have once again, the P word, proof. Proof. That's definitely, I guess, the theme that I'm running with tonight. Um, Proof. Let's see. As we're talking about the cases, I told you we got our two words: cases and percentages. We can't get enough of hearing about the cases. Cases by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands rolling out. I'm not terribly surprised. Like I said, it is my personal belief that tens of millions of Americans at this stage of the game most likely would test positive. Frankly, I would like the test itself to be tested. I really don't know how accurate it is. Maybe it is accurate. I don't know. I would just, we haven't really heard too much about the accuracy of the test. Matter of fact, the only time we ever hear anything from our corporate media about test accuracy is when a person comes forward, claims to have been tested, gotten a negative, and then later turned out to come down with COVID symptoms. Um, and of course, the news will then talk about the test needs to be more sensitive. Maybe that's what they're trying to imply. um, what else have I got here? So we talk about our the cases by the tens of thousands. All the southern states. I mean, the southern states are going to be just fine. The southern states are going to sustain their losses, just like the northern states did. I don't know. Maybe they'll probably fare a lot better. Truth be known. I'm tired tonight because they rush to put a lot of people on ventilators, um, and they definitely hold off on the ventilators now. So we've got different ways of dealing with the patients. However, I will point this out. For all of these cases that they are saying exploding by the tens of thousands, 50,000, 100,000, well, if you are, because we also heard that President Trump was completely lambasted for saying that 99% of these positive cases are asymptomatic, basically, is what he was getting at. And he, of course, is challenged, rightfully so, as to what's your proof on that. I don't know where his team is at, but I could have answered that question real easy. The proof are your positive cases that you can't get enough of reporting, okay? If 100,000 people in one day or 1 week or whatever you want to say have come up positive, well, are you also telling me that 100,000 people are in hospitals? Hell, fuck no. Okay? These people that are testing positive by massive amounts, they're not in hospitals. They're not even sick. Your own reporting is the proof. Okay? Like I said, I don't know what Donald's team is doing or what they're thinking, but you got to get on the ball, goddammit. Where are the MASH hospitals is what I got written here. Our southern MASH hospitals are completely no-go, completely MIA. MASH is MIA. And the reason for that is because they just like how we know not to rush a COVID patient onto a ventilator, they also have learned not to erect these huge MASH hospitals because everybody sees that they go to waste. And you dig what I'm saying? So while they're reporting 50, 100,000 cases positive, just remember that if they themselves are actually expecting these people to become sick, they'd be building MASH hospitals left and right like crazy. And they're not, because they know that 99% are going to be immune. So, let's see. On nightly news, they get their doctors to, one of the doctors we need, excuse me, I sat here perfectly quiet. I'm going to talk about this cough. In case you're wondering what it might feel like, let's see, I don't want to go with that particular explanation. Varicose veins are also known to weep, if that makes any sense to you. Fluid, clear fluid. Some people in their legs, their varicose veins, will produce a fluid. I'll talk later about it, but somewhere up along here, like I said, it's a respiratory injury. It's not infection. I've had this for a couple of years now, and when I go to speak, the reverberation in my voice, it's like a slight trickle, like a weeping. I'll talk more about it later, but it's like what do you call it? A cold beverage in a hot outdoors, and it perspires. The beverage perspires. That's what it's like. It's like a slight trickle, an ever so slight trickle goes down my throat, and it's only when I talk. Okay. So this doctor, apparently hundreds of scientists are writing into World Health Organization to coerce them into declaring COVID an airborne illness, rather than just simply the whole droplet thing, which is probably what it is, meaning droplet and not airborne. Once again, we see our deep state. The whole thing, it's corralling around. Remember now, they want you to completely just forget everything you heard about wiping down the wipes. They don't want people thinking that of all these positive cases that it comes from close quarter contact, mouth to mouth, breath to breath. and that it has nothing at all to do with surfaces that you are touching. Okay, in their fantasy world, the virus doesn't exist on surfaces and cannot be transmitted on surfaces. They it's all about training people into wearing a face rag. To put a rag over your face. You know, I sit here and I think about a lot of things. Just like that Cooper woman, you know, when you breathe your carbon dioxide, it's going to make you stupid. Can't help but wonder, is that part of it? You already have a stupid sheep population to begin with. You start forcing them to breathe their own carbon dioxide, yeah, it's going to make them even more stupid. Their minds even that much more malleable. Just something you might want to be aware of. Yeah, but apparently that Cooper woman's being charged with false police reporting. More on that later. Speaking of mask, I got written here: cop car, fire, arrest, woman, mask. Of all of the police vehicles that were vandalized, it kind of stuck out in my mind. Why were they so fixated? If you have, like I said, I don't feel like showing you a bunch of news clips. You just simply have to be following the news. The woman with the tattoo, and they track it down, and okay, so she set fire to a car. A lot of police cars, a lot of property damage was done from your riotous looters, and of course, there's never any mention of outbreaks, super spreader events. Have you noticed when CNN will go to cover the protesters? What is it? It's like on the side of the screen, they'll have their tallies, okay? And then a banner, all right? But when they go to talk about the protest riots, it's gone. And when we go to talk about reopening and summer parties, it's back. Our death tally. Protest riots, gone. And then they wonder why they get called fake news. Okay? But yeah, that woman that got arrested for burning the police car, I can't help but think that the deep state was sending a message to all protesters, because I couldn't help but notice that it was shortly after that you had a lot more protesters wearing face rags and coverings over their face. So that was their way of communicating to their minions, to their agents, that when you go to wreak havoc, make sure that you have your face rag on to distinguish you from Trump rallies, Trump supporters. You see, they're trying to make the face rag the thing that makes it different from a campaign rally or a pool party. And yet we see their own animation shows that number one, people, that you don't put your face rag on with telekinesis. You use your hands and you touch it and you fiddle with it, and then you go to touch, and after you've done and fiddled with your rag, you take your cup and you hand it and you touch and fiddle some more. But of course, we're not going to talk about that. So yeah, that's why I personally think that woman got arrested. She was just simply a pawn to be used to craft narratives. Yeah, I talked about it. The WHO, airborne. They're trying to spin it as if these droplets have anti-gravity power. They had some, once again, a super controlled laboratory where they said particles lingered in the air for 12 minutes after somebody stopped talking. Well, did you have circulation going? I tell you, instead of performing it in these labs, why don't you just simply go to one of the many closed down restaurants? Hell, okay? Why don't you kick a little something back to the people? I'm sure there's lots of these restaurant owners would love to rent out their restaurant to you to conduct your experiment. You know, put on everything that they would normally put on for their protective measures. Of course, assuming that the respiration machine that you're using actually simulates respiration and that you don't have something like a fucking leaf blower blowing, so that you can create your fake results. Faithless electors, yeah, more evidence of the election being rigged. Even when you go in person, they're going to just simply to an election poll. They're going to hand you a paper ballot. It is so rigged. Just like when I throw out my junk mail that I don't want, that's all they're going to do. They're just going to take your paper ballot and they're going to throw it out. It's weird because whenever I would watch these developing countries, these third world developing countries, I would even watch their president fold their ballot and then like drop it into like some kind of a box that with the slit in it. It looks like something that you would, I don't know, for electing, I don't know, your booster club, your you're a social club members, a board of a social club, not actual elected officials for a government like America. This is your way of securing the election. Why are we given paper ballots when we go in person? Why can't you just simply bring the machine? Is it because the machine can't be hacked without leaving evidence of it being hacked? If you can get people there to staff to hand out the ballot, hey, if you can get people to do your testing stations, your COVID testing stations, then how about, okay, why don't you just simply set up polls, electric polls, where people can go and cast their ballot on the machine when they go and get tested? How about that? Yeah. I guess that goes against your, All right, for my written things here, that's pretty much what I got. I want to talk about, I'm sorry to use this as a metaphor. I don't want you guys thinking that I'm just some freaking weirdo that's always thinking about or talking about somebody's junk or something. But I'm trying to reach you. Like I say, I'm tired tonight. I don't feel like fighting with the camera's orientation. What is this? What ISIS? Secrets of ISIS. Oh, my queen, said Hatshepsut, the royal sorcerer. With this amulet, you'll be endowed with the powers and the spirits. And Hatshepsut, huh? Yes, thousands and thousands of years ago, a lot of women and concubines were sent to their death because they did not produce a male child. Of course, we get the lovely privilege today of modern science to know that a woman has nothing to do with it, that it is the male sperm and not the female ovum that determines the sex of the baby. However, that knowledge wasn't known to our pharaohs as they endeavor to create a male child, and a lot of women were killed. Uh, Fast forward thousands of years today, when couples have difficulty conceiving a child and go to fertility clinics, believe it or not, still to this day, in the year 2020, a lot of men are surprised when the doctor will say, okay, Mrs. Jones, the nurse will direct you to exam. Sorry. A lot of men are quite surprised to hear the doctor say, Mrs. Jones, the nurse will direct you to exam room 1, and Mr. Jones, you'll be in exam room 2. And the husband's like, huh? I guess maybe you fell asleep during sex ed class. It does take two people to create a baby. But a lot of... Actually, you know what? I won't even necessarily say it's misogyny. Believe it or not, it's because a lot of men, boys, they are, from the time they are pubescent, it's drilled into our heads that if you just look at a woman the wrong way, around her cycle, you're going to get her pregnant. So it's not necessarily our ego or misogyny thinking that it's the woman's fault as to why they're not conceiving. It can be misogyny, but it's not always that. Just simply it's drilled into to men's head that you bump up against a woman when she's ovulating, you're going to get her pregnant or some shit. So, but yes, men are very much indeed surprised to learn that, surprise, you're going to be in a hospital gown today, not just your wife, and everybody's going to get their junk checked, okay? And if you're having difficulty conceiving, guess what? Okay? You cannot say to the doctor, either one, whether it's the man or the woman, you can't say to the doctor, okay, well, I can tell you about some of the symptoms that I'm having, or maybe I'll just simply turn to my own story here, mixing metaphors with reality. Because you guys know one of my disabilities, hypogonadism type 2, when I went to my endocrinologist, I did tell him my symptoms, everything that goes along with that, but I can't say, I can't refer him to, well, just go look at the stats. Eventually, during the physical examination, you're going to have to drop trowel and the doctor's going to check your junk. That's just simply the way it works. You're talking about your gonads, you're talking about your testicles, you're talking about your ability to produce testosterone, okay? Okay? And because I am an American citizen with rights, I can make that medical decision as an adult, okay? Just like in our scenario, our couple having difficulty conceiving, they can each make their own respective medical decision about their body and how they want medical treatment, okay? I cannot, what am I going to do? Hold up a phone to the doctor and be like, well, doctor, these are pictures of men with low testosterone, and here's an article talking about it, and here's data. And I suppose maybe the CDC and World Health Organization, they probably have data on stuff like low testosterone. I can't say that to Oh, son of a gun. His name is Cooperman, my endocrinologist. I'm just realizing it. The woman, Cooper, she's... Anyway. But, I can't say to Dr. Cooperman, there's no need to check my junk. Just simply refer to data, to what the current studies are. No, it doesn't work that way. The doctor has to see for himself. He has to rule out injury, illness, birth defect. You'd be surprised as to how many people are oblivious to what, in other words, if they have a defect or an injury, they might think that, well, maybe everybody's is like that, or anyway. It's medical science, okay? And if you guys are familiar with my anti-lockdown, COVID, fake pandemic rants, then you know I am very, very big on incontrovertible proof. Show me, okay? Just like I had to let fucking Dr. Cooperman manhandle my fucking junk and shit. If I wanted to get the medical treatment, then that's what I had to do. Our infertile couple in our scenario, both, not just the woman, but also the man, they both got to get checked out. You have to show. You have to present the proof. Do you understand? If you want me, because Chris Cuomo's all on fucking CNN harping about you going on and on. You people are stupid. He's calling everybody stupid. Show us the proof. Okay? You could have gotten this ugliness in the way and out the way months ago. Because truth be told, you didn't have to necessarily show us a never-ending stream of dead bodies. Even in your height of it, what is it, March, April? When you guys were claiming almost 1,000 a day were dying. Give me 1 week of that. Give me 1 week of hundreds of dead bodies per day. Has to be per day. I don't want to see just a mass collection of dead bodies that have been accrued for the past, 6 or 7 months. Okay? Show me just 24 hours worth of dead in your state or your city. Show me. Just like I showed Dr. Cooperman my fucking cock and balls, I want you to fucking show me. Okay? Just like our couple, if they want their own baby to have and to hold, to love, and don't make me go Looney Tunes, George, I'm going to love you and stroke you and George. Bugs Bunny, Abominable Snowman. Anyway, if you want your own baby, okay, drop them. Let's see it. Okay, if you want this independent journalist to turn this channel into a pro-pandemic channel to support you, show me. Show me the dead. Show me the evidence. Because I'm sorry, even in fucking Mexico, good Lord, of all places, Mexico couldn't even get the graves filled. Not even with the notorious cartel. I'm getting to 30 minutes here. So that's basically what I had to say. I'm sick and tired of all the lies. It's nothing more than lies. This thing gonna shut me off when it gets to 30. I don't know. That's why I don't even watch the fucking help me say it, press conferences anymore. What's the point? It's just endless lies. I am so fucking sick and tired of these news anchors. I can't believe how effortless they swing. Let me see if I'm going to shut me off here. 56, 57, 58. Total control 871. I'm still there. Okay, good. I just want to maybe sign off before it shuts me off. I think I got maybe about 3 or 4 minutes here. They'll just immediately go, whether it's David Murr, Lester Holt, Papadopoulos, whatever the fuck. They start off America exploding with huge new record-breaking, record-smashing coronaviruses, blah, 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 Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Okay, they'll do that for about 3 or 4 minutes as they open up their program, and then immediately, I don't even think they draw a breath, they immediately segue straight over to Donald Trump and digging in his ass about protesters, and they'll start talking about protesters. And of course, if it's CNN, our banners and death toll disappear and go away, and we're not showing death tolls anymore. Now we're going to show protest riots, and we don't care if they're not social distancing, and if they are wearing a face rag, it's more of a chin strap now, because half of them are not wearing their face rags. The other half aren't wearing them correctly, if there is a correct way to wear things. As we saw in our animation, doesn't make a difference. Your breath is going to escape anyway. So I'm just sick and tired of the endless lies. You're never going to hear the truth. We're on our own, people. This channel, definitely shadow banned. Good Lord, Facebook has, it's just massive echo chamber. Massive. If you say anything against the pandemic, your account will be disabled, or at least mine is, okay? I think I'm hammered out something like 30 different Amir Bafi. I told you I'm tired. Amir Bafi. They're all disabled. It's all disabled. You have to speak in pre-authorized. And if I'm not mistaken, Hong Kong, huh? In Hong Kong, they're up there holding up blank pieces of paper because it's illegal to write your campaign slogans. But remember now, our deep state radicalized Democrats, they've been heralding China. They did such a fantastic job on their lockdown. We gotta be just like China. I mean, after all, we've already made it illegal for you to get together. Now we're gonna make it illegal for you to speak out against us. 33 here. I want to talk about what's the fake pandemic is causing. Who remembers? I did a segment there, 3D printed homes. All forms of dense, urban, super cheap home construction have pretty much been trashed. They scared everybody back out into suburbs. You know, it's been a few years since I've spoken about the fiscal backdraft. Some of my original subscribers will remember the fiscal backdraft. It talks about when all of the want and desire and mindless shopping will just simply dry up or disappear like the oxygen in a room, like the movie Backdraft. And what has happened? The pandemic has given new oxygen, new life. Mindless buying. People can't get enough of the shopping. So we've got that. We've got suburban homes exploding in value. Are you paying attention as to who owns and controls and is profiting from all this? Okay, massive transfer of wealth from U.S. Treasury and to the oligarchy healthcare system, which I predicted before COVID got started. Who is profiting from all of this? Okay? Start asking yourself that question. All right, guys. that's it. I'm tired. Going to bed. Keep questioning your reality. Keep questioning. That's all I can tell you. Total Control 871.